Hello and welcome to the Daily Dose of Safety with Dr. Charlie Cartwright. So today I'm going to show you a technique to improve your safety outcomes by 100%. How are we going to do it? All right, well, let's dive in. So, how can you improve your safety outcomes by 100%? There's a book I read some years ago. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I read this book and it was Norman Schwarzkopf. And he talked about his leadership throughout the military, and he'd had all these different commands. And he was always very successful in each one of those commands, and he attributed it to this technique. And he said, I, for instance, had a command where he was in charge of Apache helicopters, this whole squadron. He's like, I don't know anything about Apaches. He said, however, I asked questions, I empowered my people. But he said, anytime I took over a new command, I'd make a list of 100 things that I want to improve or that need to improve, right? 100 things. And my goal was to improve each one of those items by 1%. Now, he said, when you get into it, you never end up with 100% improvement. You'll have some items on that list that you'll try to improve and they don't move. There's a reason why that number is that number. But he said, you never just get 1%. You get 2% over here, you get 3% over there, you get 5, you get 10. He said, so in the aggregate, he said, I always ended up with more than a 100% improvement. And I've applied that in business for years. Anytime in my past life when I took over operations, so specifically when an operation was underperforming, I'd make that list and I'd go into it, and it was wildly successful. So I thought this morning, that would be a really good approach when it comes to safety. Looking at 100 different things that we do. And I understand there's more than that, right? But look at 100 things we can do and that we do every week for sure, some of them every day. And how can we improve it? And seek to improve those things by 1%, right? It could be toolbox talks or tailgates, taking an honest look and seeing how consistently that we perform those, right? And if they're not happening every day, then that can be a point of improvement. So you got 5 days in a week and it's only happening an average of 4 days a week, and you add a day in there, guess what? Bam, there's your 20% increase. It's probably a little more than 20%, but somewhere around 20% neighborhood that you improved. Um, so then think about one of the things that I really believe should be standard, right? Not just in this industry, but but in all industries when it comes to toolbox talks, tailgates, safety messages, that I think it's important to start the day off that way. But today is Championship Sunday in the NFL, so I'll be watching the NFC Championship football game first and the AFC Championship this evening with my Chiefs playing in it. If you watch those games, you'll notice that there's halftime, right? Well, halftime is not just to sell more pizza, commercials, insurance, whatever. Halftime is engineered into the game because the teams go in the locker room and do what? They get some rest, they get some nutrition and some hydration. But the number one reason they go in there is to talk about what happened in the first half of the game, come up with adjustments, and create a better strategy for the second half. And I really believe that that needs to be the standard safety. We can't give a message at 8 a.m. and expect that message to last until 5 p.m. or beyond. And again, what what things happened before lunch, halftime at work, that we need to adjust for, that we need to talk about, that we need to improve, or maybe we need to stop doing something, or maybe we need to relook at something. So I think that that is really low hanging fruit there. that you could make a major improvement in that space by having that halftime talk, that midday talk to see how we're doing and make sure that we finish the day the way we started it, which is safely. So there's so many things you can look at, and checking your PPE, making sure that that is in good repair, up to speed. We don't want to have equipment failing, finding out when we're on a site that the equipment failed. We want to notice that, hey, this is in disrepair and needs to be replaced before we ever have it in full use. So there's just so many areas, but it's exciting to me because anytime that I've done this, it's always reaped huge benefits. And frankly, I just need to make it a part of my regular everyday life. And there's so many lessons out there, so many leadership lessons, and you forget about stuff where it gets pushed to the back of your mind. And this is something that came to the forefront today, and so I wanted to share it with my safety message today. So think about it, put it into use, and I'd love to hear about the results that you'll achieve in 90 days, 180 days, and beyond. So that is my message for today. I hope this finds you well. And until next time, take care.